Have you ever seen someone walk into a room and you just know they've got their life together? Their shirt's never wrinkled, they speak softly but say a lot, and somehow even their water bottle looks expensive. That's not magic, that's habits. And the good news? They weren't born with it. You can absolutely steal those upper-class moves and make them your own. No private jet required. Once I started shifting a few key habits, people literally started treating me differently. So today, I'm giving you 8 upper-class habits that will transform your life. 1. They play the long game. Upper-class people don't sprint, they strategize. They're not obsessing over quick wins or overnight success. They think in seasons, years, even decades. Whether it's career moves, relationships, investments, or personal growth, it's all about playing chess, not checkers. They plant seeds and wait patiently, because they know real results take time. It's not sexy, and it's definitely not instant, but it works. So before you make a decision, ask yourself, would future me thank me for this? If the answer is no, maybe don't send that 3 a.m. text to your ex or drop your savings on shiny things you'll forget next week. 2. They choose quality over quantity. People with real class aren't chasing trends, they're curating timelessness. One great coat is worth more than 5 fast fashion jackets that unravel after 2 washes. And honestly, that mindset applies to almost everything. Friendships, furniture, even sushi. It's not about showing off, it's about being intentional. They'd rather own less, but better. Fewer things, fewer distractions, fewer surface-level connections, all chosen with care and built to last. True quality speaks quietly. It doesn't beg for attention, it earns respect over time. And sure, that might mean skipping quick wins or cheap thrills, but in return you get depth, durability, and a whole lot more peace. 3. They invest in knowledge and culture. Classy people feed their minds the same way others scroll on social media, constantly and with intention. Think books, documentaries, historical films, even a random Saturday spent wandering through an art museum just because it feels good to learn. But here's the thing, it's not performative. They're not memorizing facts to flex at dinner parties. They're genuinely curious about people, about history, about the world. They know that culture adds depth, and knowledge builds confidence that doesn't need to shout. And trust me, there's nothing more powerful than someone casually referencing classical literature or global politics in conversation without sounding like a snob. That's quiet power. The key? Stay curious, not superior. Never stop learning and do it for yourself, not for show. 4. They network with intention. This isn't about handing out business cards at every event or collecting LinkedIn connections like Pokemon cards. Real networking, the kind upper-class people excel at, is thoughtful, intentional, and long-term. They're not trying to get something out of everyone they meet. Instead, they focus on building actual relationships. They check in just to see how you're doing. They remember birthdays, they introduce people who should meet, and they do it without expecting anything in return. It's less about climbing the ladder and more about expanding the table. Because in the end, it's not just about who you know. It's about how you treat the people you know. And those small gestures, they compound over time. That's how trust is built, and trust is currency. 5. They practice self-discipline like it's a superpower. They're not controlled by cravings, moods, or every shiny thing that flashes across their screen. They don't impulsively say yes to everything, or blow their budget just because something's on sale for 24 more minutes. Instead, they pause, they breathe, and then they choose intentionally. Because discipline isn't about restriction, it's about direction. It's knowing what you want long-term and not letting short-term urges mess that up. Real discipline creates freedom. Freedom from regret, from overwhelm, from those 2 a.m. Amazon purchases that made sense until they arrived and didn't. The upper class treat their time, energy, and attention like valuable resources, because they are. And while most people react, they respond. That's what sets them apart. 6. They move with grace and intention. You can spot it instantly, the way they walk into a room. No rushing, no frantic energy, no fidgeting with their phone like it's a security blanket. They're present, they're grounded. Every step feels deliberate, like they belong there. But they're not trying to prove it. And it's not just about posture or body language, although that helps. It's the energy they bring. A quiet confidence that says, I know who I am, without needing to say a word. They make space without taking over. Even the way they sit down or make eye contact feels calm, not performative. It's a kind of stillness in a noisy world. And that's what makes people stop and take notice. They don't demand attention, they attract it. 7. They choose minimalism over flashiness. You won't see them wearing giant designer logos or flexing every moment of their life online. Their style is clean, understated, and intentional, not because they're hiding something, but because they don't need the noise. They don't post every vacation photo with 47 hashtags or unbox their latest splurge just for attention. Real class whispers. It doesn't compete. It doesn't need external validation to feel secure. Minimalism, for them, isn't about empty spaces. It's about making space for what actually matters. Whether it's in their wardrobe, their home, or their schedule, they value clarity over clutter. It says, I know who I am, I don't need to prove it. And that quiet confidence, that's magnetic. 8. They'd rather give than take. True class shows up in generosity, not the loud, look at me kind, but the quiet, steady kind that doesn't expect anything back. They give their time, their knowledge, their resources, and yes, even their spotlight. If they know someone who could benefit from a connection or opportunity, they make the intro, no strings attached, no subtle ego boost needed, because they're not trying to look good, they're trying to do good. And that's a big difference. They understand that influence means nothing if it's not used to uplift others. Whether it's mentoring someone without broadcasting it, tipping well without a scene, or simply listening without interrupting, their generosity is real. And the best part? People remember that kind of energy, even if they don't always talk about it, because kindness done quietly tends to echo the loudest. So to sum it up, ladies, play the long game, choose quality over clutter, feed your brain some actual nutrition, and build real relationships, not just followers. Stay cool under pressure, move like you've got nowhere to rush to, keep it classy, not flashy, and give more than you take. That's it. That's what we are going for. None of it requires a trust fund, just self-awareness, consistency, and maybe fewer panic purchases at 2 a.m. Pick one, start small, and trust me, people will notice. So yeah, none of these habits are rocket science. You don't need a yacht, a butler, or a library full of leather-bound books. What you do need is intention, because the moment you start showing up differently, more calm, more curious, more grounded, the world responds. You start walking into rooms with quiet confidence instead of loud anxiety. And that's the real flex. Don't try to flip your whole life overnight. Just pick one habit. Maybe it's moving with more presence. Maybe it's texting less, listening more. Or maybe it's finally saying goodbye to that chaotic closet. Whatever it is, do it consistently. That's where the shift happens. If this gave you a spark, drop a comment. I want to know what you're working on. And hey, if you're still watching, you already belong here. Hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. We're building a community with smart habits, good energy, and people who actually want to grow. See you in the next one, ladies.